Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today we are breaking down my list of the top free agency targets at every single position of need for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in here, it's going to be a little bit of a longer video, just so you guys know, but thank you so much for making it to the end today. Name for me down there in the comments section. Name someone you really want the Pittsburgh Steelers to sign in free agency next week. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. We're going to be talking about a lot of my favorite potential future Steelers here in just a second, so let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. So I want to start off here by saying we're not going to be talking about quarterbacks today because it sounds like the Steelers will either get Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. Who knows? By the time this video comes out, there might already be a decision on that, all right? So I'm not going to be diving into the pros and cons of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields like I have on this show before. I'm going to focus on other positions today. So let's start here with the effective cap space. At the time of me filming this video, all right, it's very possible that by the time this comes out, they cut Larry Ogunjobi, or they cut Cordero Patterson, or they restructure Pat Freiermuth or Alex Highsmith, and they get more effective cap space than this. But at the time of me recording this video, they have about $60.5 million to spend on veteran players via trade and in free agency. That's what effective cap space means. Here are the team needs that we'll be talking about today. Running back, wide receiver, defensive line, outside cornerback, slot cornerback, third safety, potentially inside linebacker, backup quarterback, swing tackle, and backup center/interior offensive lineman. So let's start here with the running back position. I think step one for the running back position here is to lock up Jaylen Warren. Now, he's a restricted free agent, so you can place the RFA tender on him here, and that would cost the team $5.346 million against the cap, all right? So I think that is a very reasonable number for a really good running back like Jaylen Warren, and I think they end up bringing him back. And for me, step two is drafting a dynamic number one running back, whether that's Ashton Jeanty, Omar Hampton, Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson, or maybe even Cam Skadabu. I think that they're going to draft a running back early in the NFL draft, but if they end up getting a free agent, I think the guys to keep your eye on, J.K. Dobbins, when he's healthy, he's really good, but he can never, ever stay healthy. Nick Chubb came back from his injury last year and was not the same player he was before that knee injury. Aaron Jones had a good season last year, but he's getting older. Najee Harris, Pro Football Focus can go shove it with $11.5 million per season. I just don't think Najee's going to get that. Jamal Williams is also an option there. I think Jamal would be more of a number two running back to Jaylen Warren's number one running back. If that ended up happening, but I do like his skill set and I like his mentality. And then when it comes to wide receiver targets, guys, I think it depends on who the quarterback is going to be. And like I said, I'm not going to be talking about who the quarterback is going to be. It could be Fields, it could be Russ, and potentially by the time you're seeing this, we already know the answer to that question. But for Fields, you need more yard after the catch threats and route runners, to help him out a little bit, consistently win against man-to-man coverage. And I think that the offense will be a lot more horizontal with lots of play action, with lots of RPOs, with lots of screen passes. You want people that can really move after the catch if Justin Fields is the quarterback. And then if you're going with Russell Wilson, your offense is going to be more deep ball centric with his touch on the moon balls, right? So you're going to want big body, deep threats, and you're going to want to pair George Pickens with another one of those bigger bodies to match with Russell Wilson. Some other wide receiver free agent targets here. To think about DK Metcalf and Cortland Sutton, you'd have to trade for. But if you want to pair Russell Wilson up with one of these guys, one of his former teammates, you could certainly attempt to do that. Chris Godwin, I think he'll be going back to the Buccaneers, but he's a really good player. Tyler Lockett, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Williams, Amari Cooper, and Darius Slayton. I don't know, man. Those names don't really interest me all that much. Slayton's interesting, but Mike Williams and Amari Cooper, I think, are completely cooked at this point. So predict it for me down there in the comment section. Which veteran wide receiver will the Steelers add this offseason? Predict it for me. Will it be Darius Slayton? Will it be DK Metcalf? Will it be Cortland Sutton? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. All right, now let's get into defensive tackles here because I think this is going to be an interesting position for the Steelers this year. And the reason for that is because I don't know if they're going to address this position in free agency, in the draft, or both. You look at this position right now. Right now you got Keanu Benton as your nose tackle, Cam Hayward as your DT, and then Larry Ogunjobi as your 3-4 DM. So right now, I think that Larry Ogunjobi could be cut. He might even be cut by the time that this video goes out. But my preference would be to get a nose tackle this offseason so that Keanu Benton can move to the 3 technique, Cam Hayward can move to the 5 technique, and you can have a true run stuffer in the middle of the defense that can take on double teams. And that would open up Keanu Benton to be a more disruptive player in the middle of the defense, in my opinion. You pair that with an all-pro Cam Hayward, I think that the interior of the Steelers' D-line could be dangerous if you can get the proper nose tackle. But there aren't a lot of great veteran nose tackles available in free agency this year. Somebody that catches my eye that I would be thrilled to get here in Pittsburgh is Poona Ford. He's been one of the best run stuffers in the league for a very, very long time. Right now, PFF projects that the Steelers could get him for a 1-year, $3.5 million contract. That is certainly something that I am interested if I am the black and gold. If not, I think the move is probably to get a nose tackle in the draft. There's a lot of guys that could play nose in all rounds of the NFL draft. Obviously, if you're looking for a starter, it might be earlier rather than later. But I think that nose tackle is an important position because it allows this defensive line here in Pittsburgh to really unlock itself heading into 2025. I also wouldn't mind a rotational defensive tackle to help rush the passer. With Loudermilk being a free agent here, I think that is something that you want to address. And I honestly wouldn't mind bringing him back, all right? I think that he's a good player, and I would love to bring back Isaiah Loudermilk. I think that he's a good rotational guy for what he is. He's not a starting-level player, but I think he's very, very solid in a rotational role. So if you can get him for a very affordable contract, I'd be happy with that. But I think that there's lots of rotational defensive tackles out there to choose from, guys like potentially Javon Hargrave, depending on what kind of role he wants to fill in the National Football League at this point in his career. Jaron Reed, Tershawn Wharton is somebody to really keep your eye on. He's really good. Tyler Tart as well has been one of the best rotational pass rushers in the league for a long time. And then Sebastian Joseph Day is another guy that could be on the Steelers' radar as well. So coming up here on Steelers Talk, I'm going to be breaking down my cornerback free agency targets and more here. We got backup quarterback. We got interior offensive line, swing tackle. Got a lot of stuff to discuss on the rest of today's Steelers Talk free agency plan. But before we get into that, let's go to chatsports.com/beanie to get yourself a really nice Steelers hat in your closet today for those cold weather months. Another thing that's great about Fanatics here is that they send us part of the proceeds whenever you use our link. So right now, this hat's on sale. You guys can go chatsports.com/beanie to get this beanie in your closet today and help out the channel. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are actually going to sign 2 corners in free agency. One guy for the outside, one guy for the nickel. And right now, Nick Farabaugh from Penn Live has reported that the Steelers are targeting former Raider slot cornerback Nate Hobbs. So really keep your eye on Hobbs to start the free agency period on Monday. I really think he's a great fit for what Pittsburgh wants in their slot corner. He's kind of a bigger slot corner. Very physical, and that's exactly what they look for. Some other slot cornerback options, Mike Hilton was obviously a former star in this defense as a blitzing slot corner. Right now, PFF projects a 3-year, $11 million per season contract. I don't know if I buy that. And then Jordan Lewis, who I really like personally, 2 years, $3.5 million is what they project for him. Then on the outside, Nick Farabaugh said that the players that the Steelers are specifically targeting are Charvarius Ward, DJ Reed, and Carlton Davis. All these guys would be excellent options, in my opinion, and all of them would be around the same price tag. Around 3 years, about $14 million per season is what you guys can expect from Charvarius Ward, DJ Reed, and Carlton Davis moving forward. And I think that the Steelers probably will land one of these guys. I think they got the money to do it. I think that they're very motivated to get that done. And I do think that they will sign them for somewhere around 3 years, $14 million per season. But if they don't go with one of those 3, there's plenty of other options. Lots of really good veteran cornerback options out there. Asante Samuel Jr., Byron Murphy Jr., Darius Slay, Paulson Adebo, and Rasul Douglas are some other veteran options that I think that they will be considering as well. So let me know down there in the comments section, which cornerbacks do you want Pittsburgh to sign in free agency? Personally, I would love Carlton Davis and Nate Hobbs, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Really looking forward to what cornerbacks you are interested in here when you get down there in the comments. So I think that we can look for Mike Tomlin to potentially sign an affordable third safety as well. You got Minkah Fitzpatrick, you got Deshaun Elliott. Tomlin likes to have that third piece in the safety room to be able to use that. And the piece that I would love is Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons, right now, his projected deal is 1 year, $2 million. And I think that as a really, really versatile chess piece, I think that he would be an excellent fit with what the Pittsburgh Steelers want to do. He can play in the box. He can play safety. He can play in the slot even. I think that he's really good at manning up tight ends. And I think that having that kind of versatile chess piece in the Steelers defense would benefit this team quite a bit. When it comes to inside linebacker, I'm interested to see if they bring back Landon Roberts after restructuring Cole Holcomb's deal. I think that they would like Roberts back, but does Roberts really want to come back if his status in this rotation is in question? So it'll be interesting to see. Right now, PFF projects a 1 year, $3.25 million contract for him, so we'll see if he ends up being a Pittsburgh Steeler in the future. Right now, the rotation is Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, and then Cole Holcomb would probably slot in as the rotation piece. That is, if Landon Roberts does not come back for 2025 and beyond. So some high-end backups for the quarterback position. Jacoby Brissett, Jameis Winston, Carson Wentz, Case Keenum, Joe Flacco. These are the veteran options out there that have a lot of starting experience, that if Justin Fields or whoever the quarterback of this team is goes down, you can probably trust them to operate the offense relatively effectively. Or you could go with a younger quarterback with a little bit of upside. People like Daniel Jones, who's still pretty young, Zach Wilson, Drew Lock, Trey Lance, Mac Jones. Former early round draft picks with a lot of physical talent, but haven't been able to cultivate that yet. If you want to take another dart throw, you could potentially look to get one of these guys. So chime in for me down there in the comments section. Which kind of quarterback 2 do you want on this team? Do you want type H for high end or type D for dart throw? For me personally, especially if it's Justin Fields, I would prefer a high end backup, and then maybe drafting a quarterback in the NFL draft would probably be my plan there. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. We're almost finished up here on Steelers Talk, but first let's talk about some backup positions on the offensive line. First thing, Pittsburgh needs a quality swing tackle. Broderick Jones has certainly struggled in his NFL career, and if he stinks, or if, God forbid, he gets hurt, or Troy Fautano gets hurt, that's a big concern. I want somebody with a lot of experience starting at left and right tackle that can come in and I can be relatively confident in. I think my preferred choice would be Cornelius Lucas from the Washington Commanders, and he played both left and right tackle this past year for Washington. He was arguably the best tackle on the team. So I think he'd be an excellent fit here in Pittsburgh. And then when it comes to the backup center position and kind of depth along the interior of the offensive line, I just bring back Nate Herbig. Good locker room guy. He already knows the scheme. Obviously, Zach Frazier is this team's starting center, but I think Nate Herbig would be a great fit as the backup. That'll be it for today's show, guys. Thank you so much for making it to the end. Type real one if you made it all the way to the end with us here on Steelers Talk. NFL free agency is just ramping up next week, guys. So make sure you click that subscribe button for our breaking news coverage whenever that news hits.